There was some interesting, I know one's factual, the other one I only heard, but,
Okay, I think.
So it again, is it?
I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Lisa?
Township 5, I didn't put meetings act 1975, I was supposed to this meeting, which is live on November 1st, 2018, that publication goes to the Department of Health, and those who must be on the date. Mayor Barsney?
Here.
Mr. King?
here,
Mr.
Here.
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 Please stand for pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Treasurer's report in November, I guess we really don't have a November bill list, so we actually have the treasurer's report from the new CFO.
There is a bill list in your.
There is a bill list in there.
Yeah, I know there's a bill list, but anybody have any questions on that?
No.
Well,
I do have just one addition to that bill list.
Okay.
We had, I guess we have some delinquent invoices from Township collected, and they contacted us today, so if it's okay with the PC, if we could approve the addition, I've already talked to Debbie about it, we'll get it on there. It's 4 invoices for a total of $2,330.
Okay.
I only have one copy, but Brad, you're free up on this if you want.
Okay.
and then I have a comment, yeah, and I want it paid, it's not that I don't want it paid or anything else like that, and apparently, our IT company, John Paul, hasn't been paid for a considerable amount of time. But with that being said, his invoices are in here and caught up, but it's on his additional IT services. It just says IT services, additional over and above the, and, you know, one of them's 1,000, one of them's 800, one of them's 750. I'd like a little bit more clarity as to what they're for.
Right.
You know, that's all. I mean, if I'm gonna pay another $1,000 over and above our monthly fee, you know, there should be a little detail as to
Some description, yeah.
some description.
Take care of that, Lisa, when you talk to him.
I actually did text him, he said just let him know exactly what we want, he's happy to do it, he's just never texted before, so.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion to accept the November's bill list?
I make the motion.
Second, anybody?
Second.
Any other further discussion or questions? Anybody will pull anything? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Dean?
Yes.
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 Tax collectors, report and SOAR reports. Everybody have a chance to look at them? Anybody have any questions or want to pull anything on that? We're looking for a motion to accept the tax collectors' SOAR and tax report for November.
I'll make the motion.
Do we want a second? I'll second. Any other questions, comments, discussion? Roll call? Yes.
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 Township clerk's report. You want to go over anything in particular on this, Lisa?
Most of this potentially going to come up later on. The email migration, I am going to meet with John Paul to, I think it was Frank who had asked about a secure Dropbox site for sharing documents, and we're going to go over that tomorrow as part of this. The
Yeah.
next item on my list was the Windows 10 upgrades and the computer upgrades, which we've been talking about for probably 15 months. And we never, I don't think we had a vote on the record to actually officially move forward with that. When I really broke it down after sending you guys that email, I think we have 9 computers that need to be upgraded to the Windows 10 so that they will have that Microsoft support. That software cost is $200 each, and then time to install. The zoning computer is the only one that is older, like very old. It's 9 years old, but Larry says it's working fine and he uses it minimally, so I don't think we really need to necessarily move forward with replacing that now, but I think for you guys. So I don't know if you want to do a cost not to exceed and get John Paul moving on this in the new year, or how you guys want to handle this, but.
So right now, you're only asking about the software upgrade, or you're asking about?
I think just the software upgrade.
I think the software upgrade, you have to do it, so I don't have a problem with
I
that.
agree. I don't have it on me, but I think, Brad, was it in January 1 that they were going to stop supporting it? I feel like it was January 1. So,
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's soon.
Yeah. So,
So the total cost was?
Not to exceed.
Yeah, I mean, it's $200 each system, for, like I said, the 9 computers, and then it's $125 an hour, is the install rate. I don't know, if it's probably about an hour per system, yes.
Well, I think we gotta do them.
I did a cost out to see $4,500, assuming we would also replace that computer, but, if you guys want to just set a rate.
No, I think we gotta do them all. So the total cost comes out to.
Wait, but for the zoning computer, I know he's saying, I mean, it's 9 years old, we're gonna have to put $200 plus the hourly fees into that on a 9-year-old computer?
I don't think I put the money in.
I thought she was
Ten
exempt, she was
personally.
exempting that one.
Yeah, I
No,
would
but
do
you still-
nothing on that one.
No, we're saying we're not gonna, he says it works fine, but it needs the upgrade on the Windows.
Not probably
I
not.
would think that if we have a problem with that operating system, then we just get a new computer. That's
Yeah.
my 2 cents. For the minimal use that Larry
Mhm.
has on it, it's up to you guys.
And the 4,500, would that include a new computer? Not
That's
to
what I was
exceed
thinking.
with
I
the-
was
right.
estimating.
So you're looking for us to make a motion to do this with the not to exceed $4,500, and that will include a new computer for
Computer.
zoning, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Anybody want to make that motion while we're on this?
I'll make the motion to accept computer operation system upgrades not to exceed 4,500 to complete the necessary upgrades, including the new computer.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
Any other questions or comments, discussion on it? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Bean?
Yes.
Mr. McDonough?
Yes.
Ms. Dermott?
Yes.
Mr. Ryan?
Yes.
Okay.
I think everything else is going to come up later.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, I just remembered, I apologize, on the bills list, there was another charge that, it was submitted, but it wasn't paid, because I had to talk about it.
Okay.
It's for LDC Electric, so we have that in here, there's a $7,500 payment, which is the second payment for the electric that was put in up at the park.
Mm-hmm.
When he dropped the bill off yesterday, today's Wednesday, right? I think it was yesterday. He also had another invoice in there for the amount of $472.50. And what it is, because of where it was located and the length of the electric, the state required him to have like a design, like an electrical engineer design. So obviously we didn't have one, so we went out and contracted this company called Falcon. I think they're out of Bridgewater, but so they provided that whole service, and they also did a test on the drop, from point to point, how much drop it is. So there was an additional charge incurred for that he wanted to ask if he could get reimbursed.
Yeah, I actually believe it's in there. I thought I saw it.
Was it?
Not on our list. It's actually in there.
Yeah, so we just wasn't paid, so
Right.
what I told him is we discuss it tonight, say if we wanted to pay it or not. Because his original estimate was 15,000 plain. This was not something he anticipated having to do, so it's an extra charge that, when we originally approved the 15,000, it wasn't part of it. So this would make the total 15,472.50, so it would be above what we authorized. So if you want to pay him, that's the question.
Well, I mean, I guess the question is that somebody should have known when he put the bid in or not? But on the other hand, I had no problem paying it. It's not like he's making any money off it. He got hit with a...
Yeah, this is just a...
Yeah, the invoice, again, it's in that pile,
Yeah.
and it's strictly for their services.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no...
There's no add-on
No, that's what I mean.
or upgrade to it.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
I would think the electrician would know the length or whatever, but whatever. I don't know. So what, you want to make another motion to pay that in addition to what we authorized?
Yeah, well, are we gonna do this one too? This one's not on the Castle,
Castle?
so we can do them both together when it's time.
Okay, well, we can do them now, right? Liz, if you want to make a motion to pay Castle the 23 and that, and we can get that done.
All right. How much is this in total?
2330?
All right, so make a motion to pay Castle Septic $2,330 according to the invoice submitted as well as $472.50 to ABC Electric for the additional invoice submitted.
I'll second. Anybody have any questions, comments, discussion on it? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
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 Joe, we know you just returned from Bahamas. You have a report tonight?
I have a report, it's just been making it here.
Oh, okay, so you're up then. I didn't know if you were gonna be prepared for one or not. I don't wanna put you on the spot. We could've listened to you for 10 minutes about the Bahamas, though, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially with this cold weather.
Real quick, we were busy for the month of October. 16 storm drains were repaired or prepped for the paving project on Kennedy Mill, Roberts Place, and Lauren Way. Altogether, there's 16 storm drains. That included curb heads, new grates, and we had a total of 5 that needed major repairs, blocks, bricks, all rebuilt the inside. So that project was all done there. Asphalt patching and repair for the month of October, 11 tons. We took delivery of the brine tank system that got approval for out of capital to use for pre-winter storms, and put that in the truck and make sure it's work. All I got to do is do a water test with it so we get the feel for how it's going to work. Almost thought we were going to need to use it while I wasn't here, but glad they didn't. There was one call out for out at the park. We got a little issue. I think we have an element pad on the hot water heater out of Thomas Stewart Park. We got to keep resetting the elements on the hot water heater. I'm trying to get that done under warranty with the plumber, and had another plumber looking at that. Also, cleanup was overtime. For the parks themselves, at the end of the month, we set up 5 additional field hockey fields for Warren County. I think it was the Warren County League field hockey tournament that was supposed to be at the end of October, but got pushed into November there. We had to set up 5 additional fields beyond what was there through the soccer fields and stuff. And Costco Landscape did the leveling of field number 3. We have probably grass on there now that's about 2.5, 3 inches tall, and probably in the spring I just might have to hit the light spots a little bit, but that
She
came
just did.
well. It leveled out pretty well. It looked really good. That's pretty much it in a quick nutshell. We had a lot of big jobs. And
Quick question, Joe.
Yeah.
Any plan on when you're gonna get to the water pooling at the park?
The what?
The water pooling, behind the drainage?
Oh,
You know when you're gonna get to that?
Next week or two.
Okay.
We talked about that, we should be all right. The ground, this is just freaking cold here. We
Yeah.
have plenty of warm to take care of that. I'm thinking maybe next week, it looks like temperatures in the 50s.
Okay.
The only other thing I gotta make sure is we don't have a lot of ponding and a lot of mud and muck there right now. I don't wanna
Yeah, I think
put
Brad, you said you saw some,
right now.
a lot.
Yeah, it was like a week or so ago when I was over there. It was, it's pretty substantial.
You got all the, No, I gave you that, that's gonna be right from Home Depot, that's no problem. I think I have 3/4 of the load of truckload of stone, matter of fact, sitting upstairs with Park this now for the French drain part of it.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Joe, the brine, New Village Road is definitely one of the roads you always plan on brining, right?
Absolutely,
Okay.
the village and Fox Run, just because of the shading and stuff.
Yeah, because I got a call from a woman who lives up there, and she wasn't complaining at all. She said she understands that you can't do every road first, but
Yeah.
she leaves for work like at 5:30 in the morning, and she says often when it snows,
Well,
it's
that was
bad.
one that we were going
And
out
I'm-
pre-salting too, but.
I did tell her that, yeah, I did tell her, I said, because she said, I think they do us last because it's a dead end, and I said, that comes up a lot, and actually DVW usually says they do you first, because they know they have to play catch-up with it, and, she goes, oh, okay, well, but anyway, I didn't think of giving her the brine, letting her know about the brine this year,
The
so.
brine, that's one of the reasons
And
why I'd like to
you-
see that.
she was very complimentary of you. She wasn't complaining at all, and she even thanked, because a couple of years ago, she said just helped her out the end of her driveway, she got stuck and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but she wasn't complaining, but she just brought it up in conversation, so, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Joe. Chief, you have a report? Okay. And the ACO report, has everyone had a chance to see it? Lily, you have anything you want to say or add to it or anything, or are you good with it?
Okay, that's it.
Okay. You want to make a motion, we accept it then?
I'll make the motion to accept the ACO report.
Everyone want a second?
Second?
Oh, I might do everything, do them all at once.
Yeah, as I was looking at it, going,
Okay.
consent agenda, but I didn't say that.
The consent agenda, well, I guess we should kill that one. Well, look, might as well just vote yes to that. Say, do a roll call on it. Yes.
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 I'll make a motion, we accept the DPW and the township clerk's report.
Second?
You want to do them all in favor, or you want to do a roll call? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. Committee reports, anybody have anything?
Yeah, just a couple quick things. Everybody should have gotten a copy from John about the updates to the Furman property and the issue with the easement. So I don't, Mike, you'll probably give a little update when it's your turn, or? Sure. All right, so Mike will give an update on where that stands. And then you also should have gotten something in the mail about the, where we stand with the sewer condemnation. So just take a look at that in case you haven't.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything on either or subject.
Me neither.
Is it here in the package?
Maybe did he send it to you, Lisa? Let me take a look. Okay, I'll take a look. I thought he addressed it to everybody, but
Yeah.
I don't know, so we'll check. If not, I'll make sure he gets it over to everyone.
Okay.
But the sewer condemnation's on track. He was just putting the process and as to where it goes, so you may want to take a look at it, the steps as to how we go about getting that to happen. So the other thing is, I was just handed this, in case everybody wants to see. This is the new plaque that's going to go on the concession stand about Thomas Stewart, so I guess I can read it. Yeah, I'll read it.
They just drop it off, didn't you stay?
Yeah, they want to see where it's gonna...
Oh, okay.
Joe, are you putting this up, or some...
Yeah, I think there was discussion.
Yeah, there's some hardware in here, so I'll leave it with you. Thomas Stewart Park. Thomas Stewart, 1753 to 1836. A civil engineer came to Greenwich Township in 1793. Stewartsville is named in his honor. As a civil engineer, he surveyed and wrote many of the deeds for the original farms in Warren County. He served as a lieutenant in the Revolutionary War and as a secretary to George Washington. He later was a justice of the peace in Greenwich Township, as well as a judge in Sussex and Warren counties. Dedicated October 16th, 2018. I don't know, Greg, the Historical Commission came up with that date, so they must
Was
have...
that last year's Community Day? Maybe that might have been like the grand opening kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it was later last year. Yeah, Community Day was later last year because...
I guess it was the opening of the park.
Yeah.
From the Greenwich Historical Commission. So that's it. It's going to go on the concession stand for everybody to see. So, Joe, I'll leave that with you. And then one last thing, if I may. I don't know if everybody was aware of this, but Gordon Kobler was just given the highest honor you can receive from France. Gordon Kobler was a resident in Greenwich that was in World War II. He served, I believe, under General Patton. I think that's what he said, right?
Yeah.
We honored him at Community Day, but it seems like he's getting a little bit of a better honor than we could give him.
He went to the UN. It was all on the news and everything.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, so he's going to be traveling to France, is what I hear.
Yep.
So he's going to be traveling to France. The president of France is going to give Gordon the highest honor you can get. So I think that makes Gordon officially, next to Thomas Stewart, maybe the most famous person from Greenwich. So I congratulate Gordon. I think it's well deserved. So that's great.
Yeah. Great guy, interesting guy. Anybody else have any committee reports? Professional reports, Mike? Yep.
All right, a couple quick updates. The pavilion is out to bid again. We're doing it a little different as we spoke of last month. Bid opening is, I think it's December the 5th, but or December 12th. But in any event, in advance of our December meeting, the hope being we get some reasonable bids, and we can award the contract in December. So we have had a few people pick up already, so cross your fingers. Water main project is they finally made all the connections that were remaining as far as the water main. Those were in Franklin Township on Stewartsville Road, at the last two difficult areas. So all of the mains are now in the ground. Primarily, at this point, service connections are being made in Greenwich, and that's really the extent of the work. Paul actually knows more than me. He mentioned some things before the meeting, which is interesting. The 2019 roadway resurfacing, and it gives me great pleasure to report that finished, and credit to Joe, and as he said about the inlet and upgrade work that the DPW needed to do in advance of, obviously, the co-op contractors coming in. But Robert Place received curbing, some new curbing, and obviously all the roads were overlaid, Kennedy Mill Road and Lauren Way.
That was all Jeff. He was away cruising. That was all Jeff. You were away cruising.
I'll send my comments to that. The final cost came in at $190,478.15, and we had estimated like $215. So that gives us a little extra money to roll into next year, and of course next year we know we're talking about obviously the water main roads. So, but hold on. And last, park, few final outstanding items that we've been waiting for, which included the handicap striping and the evergreen trees along the berm and the street trees along the county road, the ones that had died and needed to be replaced, all done. And at this point, we've received a CO, Joe took care of that.
There is a little glitch in that. I
Oh,
talked to the electric guy. We gotta change out a breaker for the heat. They got a 30 amp breaker in there, and by code it can only be 25. I'm gonna do it. We'll take care of that. And then I gotta call him, that's the only electrical outstanding, then it's all said and done.
So, contractually speaking, with all our contracts, Sampson, Aspen, et cetera, none. We still hold money, obviously, with these trees, especially until the spring, because, you know, we hope that they're fine and they come back to full bloom next spring. And that's it for me. But do you want me to do that?
You know, I was thinking maybe it's better if an executive.
That's what I was,
Yeah.
that's what I said. Okay, so that concludes my report. Any questions from anyone? On anything? Good.
You need to talk to him with that, long contract, or is that between you and...
We do need to talk about that tonight.
You want to talk about that now?
I guess.
Does Mike get...
Yeah.
I'm a little,
I think it's more Joe.
He's right there with me. I did the bids.
Okay, yeah, that's right, I didn't know if we... Okay, you're done then?
Yes.
Mike, you have anything for public? Okay, good. Old business, the land leases, we're gonna discuss in executive, right, because there were some issues with the auction, right? Computer IT upgrades, we talked about, we're good with that. 108 Washington Street, our albatross, well, our second albatross.
One
Our
of
biggest
our-
albatross is that old school.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, oh, geez.
So, you put it out for bid last time with 1,000 being min? You wanna try it with $1 being min?
There was no min. There was increments. There was
Oh,
no
okay.
min. Somebody could have bought it for $1. I think the issue is we only put it in the one paper.
I think we need to put a sign on it.
We have to find a website we can, now, there's that Muni bid,
Mhm.
do they do property?
I don't know, I've never seen it, even like that benefit, I
don't know, you would think, I don't know why that would be any different than anything else. I mean, we can certainly check on that, it wouldn't hurt, you know, and.
Yeah, because I mean, I know you can do all the equipment on that muni bid site, but I didn't know if you could do real estate, real property.
I would think you could, so I could check that tomorrow. I mean, doesn't seem there would be any reason why you could do property, you know, like personal property, you would be able to do real property.
Yeah, I just don't know if they have a category for it, because people aren't going out there for it, looking for that. Even if they would accept it, if no one's out there looking for that, they're out there looking for equipment, they're not gonna necessarily know to go there. We need to find a website that does, where we can post, you know, real property.
Joe, can't you get a permit and do a drill there one night? Burn the house down and you guys can just scoop it up with the loader and take it away.
We can work that out.
They still do that in some places in New Jersey. So we ought to look into it. Would you be, if you guys are interested, or do you think it's too close to the other houses? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah. It is close to other houses, so I don't know.
Well,
how-
and not only that, and one of the largest problems are the power lines that are right there on it, too.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the neighbors would be,
You know what, I know someone who had one in Seaside Heights, and you know how close those homes are? The Seaside Heights Fire Department burned it for a drill.
That went a long time ago. The state don't leave you burn them just for anything.
Well, yeah, it was before Hurricane Sandy, but not long before that.
Yeah, they've changed the laws so much anymore. I toot my own horn, but the place was on fire at one time, we saved it.
It's all your fault.
That's not.
It's all coming out of your budget, coming out of your budget next year. Okay.
So, do we want to try to schedule another date on this, like, for
Another bid,
re-auction,
You got all the
December?
stuff's all done. So you
Might as well just
change
do
the
it.
dates.
Change it, we gotta just find some more sites, and do we want to pick a December date?
What's a good date, Mike, for,
I think you gotta go out at least 30 days, I think, right, to get interest. You know, they really,
gotta
I
give
mean,
them
you
some
even,
time.
since we didn't have, well, we had one person show up, went out and looked at it, and never came back, but, you know, maybe you do it before the January meeting, maybe, you know, because like nobody's doing.
yeah, nobody's gonna do anything, yeah.
Christmas holiday, so,
And can we get authorization to just get a local sign and mail it to the front of the building so people know?
the other thing I was thinking is if nobody bids on it, you know, maybe Habitat's or Humanity or somebody might be interested in that, you could knock it down and rebuild the house, and maybe it helps color on it. It's just kind of a thought. If we don't get any interest this next time around, but they transfer it to the dollar, they build a house for somebody, and
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it would definitely help color.
yeah.
Well, but the biggest problem is it's gonna cost just about 40 grand to knock it down and clean it up. Before you could put it,
You're right, the only thing I was thinking in that regard is a lot of times they get volunteers to come in, you know, if they got, for a private person to come in and, you know, like you said, it's 40
Yeah.
grand just to knock the thing down, then you gotta build a house, and it's on a small lot, but it's just kind of an idea I had. Have to have people that would come in and knock it down, and
As I say, you're pretty, you have paid contacts to have it.
She does, she just said it.
And next door, the electric, the long time, so we can ask.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people
get back
have
on the
that.
house, you know.
that's a good idea.
That's an option.
Joe, we don't want your volunteer.
Okay. We're pretty much done with that then? Do we wanna set, you wanna set the January date though, at least? Why would you set the?
Yeah, you could do that. We haven't set our January meetings or our budget meetings either, so,
Yeah, the 16th is the January meeting, so maybe have a January 10th. It's just a tough time of year to get, but might as well put it out there.
okay,
Is January 10th Friday?
yes.
Yeah.
Anybody wanna make a motion to, put the auction out for January 10th, 2020?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any other questions, comments, discussion? Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Bean?
yes.
Mr. McCutcheon?
Yes.
Mr. Sherman?
Yes.
Mr. Fry?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion, we open public comment, in case anybody wants to do a public comment. Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody in the audience wishing to make any comments tonight?
Just a question. I missed the last meeting and the email blast was on the agenda. And I just, I'm curious as to where we are on
We're nowhere near close to making that happen at this stage of the game. There's a lot of things in play, but one of the biggest problems right now is anybody who was to respond, even though it's not a no-response situation. There's rules that dictate how you get rid of it and things of that nature. There were lots of side problems with it, and then just interior-wise, just having us managing it and trying to deal with it. It's just not as easy as some folks thought it was going to be. There's going to be a lot of rules and stuff, so it's kind of falling off the radar right now. That doesn't mean I'm still not looking to try to communicate to the community about things. I'm just no longer quite sure that's the way it's going to be done.
Okay.
I have a question, just, we were talking about that property there, and I know we don't want to spend any money, but do we want to think if it don't go, is to add it as property to the insurance, just in case something does happen with the other houses being that close?
Should be on there.
Heavy
It should
snow,
be on there,
heavy
yeah.
snow and it collapses and
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah, you're right.
to the other two
Should-
places on each
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, that should be on there now.
All of them.
I'll make a motion. Anybody else want a public comment? I'll make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'm gonna look for a motion to go into executive session to discuss land leases. You have something else that you wanted to bring up in there? Anybody else?
Affordable.
Affordable housing?
And Resolution 8H and 8J.
And
Would have been the ordinance.
We can do that.
Okay. What do they call it? The short-term rental, yeah. Do you want to take care of that now, or you want to do it after?
what's that?
The short-term rental ordinance?
We've got a whole ton of stuff to do.
All right, we can do it after then.
No,
I mean, we're,
under new business.
yeah,
All right,
we're just wait, I just
Yeah,
gave
yeah,
it
it's
an order. Okay, so, Mike, we have anything else we're gonna do in the executive other than what I missed? Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to go into
Well, we
executive.
have personnel stuff.
what?
There's personnel.
Oh, yeah, because, yeah, it is personnel, because we're gonna discuss, well, I guess we're gonna discuss the CFO issues too, right? Not the issues, but how
Yep.
we're handling it.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone to make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Anybody want a
to go into
second?
closed session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hopefully we won't be real long.
Chief, are you coming back in, or are you going for the night?
I'll be back.
All right,
Hopefully we won't be that
they're
long.
out there.
Okay, we're back on here.
Get a little sun, Joe? No, me. Get a little sun?
No, that's not from the sun, I got something else.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry.
I'll make a motion, we go back in public session.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mike?
We emerged from executive session at 8:04 PM. We discussed contractual matter dealing with farm leases, personnel matter dealing with CFO, pending litigation regarding the sewer easement. No official action was taken. Copies may be available at such time as the committee determines there is no harm to the public interest.
Okay. We have a second reading tonight on the ordinance 117-2019, which is the salary ordinance for 2019. So I'm looking for a motion to open public hearing for ordinance 117-2019.
I'll make the motion.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the meeting's, it's open to the public. Anybody have any questions or concerns regarding the salary ordinance, you're welcome to come up and make a statement or ask a question. Seeing none, I make a motion we close public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Looking for a motion to adopt ordinance 117-2019. Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion to adopt it.
Second, anybody?
Second?
Okay, roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
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 Second reading, I'll make the motion, we open ordinance number 118-2019, the mandating direct deposit for township employees. I'll make the motion, we open the public hearing. Anybody want a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wishing to make any comments, questions regarding the ordinance 118-2019? Seeing none, I'll make a motion, we close public hearing on ordinance 118-2019. Anybody want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 118-2019, mandating direct deposit by township employees. Anybody want a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
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 Yes. Before we close this one,
Mhm.
so we probably should get a letter out to the employees who currently are receiving a check, indicating that we need to get, and probably need to attach something from R&L,
Yeah,
the form, to just give us the bank information.
You gonna take care of that, Lee?
And that, we did also say that we would make this effective
And-
January 1,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
just to let them know and then get the information back.
Introduction to ordinance number 119-2019, ordinance to establish recreation fees. Anybody want to make the motion to introduce that ordinance?
I'll make the motion to introduce it.
I'll second. Do you have any questions, comments, discussions? Do you want to explain anything on it?
Yeah, so, the purpose and why we need this ordinance, and Mike, please correct me where I lack detail, but is when we, the recreation used to be a commission, and then last year we switched it to a committee. And recreation committees, even though they're appointed, they don't have the authority to set the fees. So the township committee is the only governing body that can set the fees, so this just establishes an ordinance to allow us to set the fees for the recreation programs.
Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
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 Got introduction of ordinance number 120-2019 regarding short-term rental ordinance in the township. I'll make a motion.
Wait.
Oh, hold on.
Did you get that email where I asked that we, add to this?
Oh, the township.
Draft, how to incorporate it into
Appro- You mean the forms?
short-term rental?
Oh, the short-term rental?
Because the way the John Bill drafted it was just outlining the new regs, but it wasn't
Oh,
inserted
he didn't
in
put
our
it-
code and
Yeah, I was
redacted.
gonna say something about that, yeah.
Yeah.
So do we not want to introduce it
Can
now?
we introduce it this way with the idea of doing our work out those kinks in it? Because
Yeah.
if we do it this way, it might be in conflict with part of what we already have in our code. And
Okay.
also, at the end of the year, we'd have to adopt an ordinance to incorporate it, so.
I would prefer to hold it unless there's some version, because there may be some substantive things that change, and I think the whole point is to make sure that somebody who picks up a copy of it knows exactly what we're, you know.
What's the issue with it in its current form?
They don't have to sit.
It's not the form,
You
it's-
just draft it, here's the ordinance, and then ask Lisa to put it into proper form, which would be figuring out where in the code book it goes, the section numbers, and what they do is, operate to delete sections in other areas, or, so, it's just fine tuning, it's just, I don't think there's no problem with the substance of it, but I would
When he
just,
said proper form, he was telling me to like put our heading on it, but I wanted to actually slide into the code where it needs to go.
Where it needs to
Delete
go.
sections that it's in conflict with and add
because
where it's.
that's one of the things, like, when an ordinance is passed, one of the first things we do is take a look at the code book and say, okay, where would a normal person first look for this under the code section, right? So you figure that out, and then, all right, maybe the last section was, you know, chapter 13, item 10, there's 10 subsections, then it's 13:11, but then you gotta look and see, there may be other areas that it conflicts with, so you gotta take a look at it and see, this ordinance may not only adopt the substance that's there, but also delete the following sections so that you don't have conflicts, because over the years, as you add ordinances, if you don't do that, then somebody pulls out something from 3 chapters earlier and goes, hey, wait a minute, I didn't violate this because the definition of whatever.
So that's all right, so it's definitely an interesting thing, which I didn't realize when you're slipping it in the code. That's what I'm thinking of.
And by way of
But,
example, Brad, when I did a quick search of like, I searched like boarding houses and things like that, we have a section in our code that talks about how, when a boarding house is allowed. So if we just adopt this, it might not do what you're wanting it to do.
so my question though is, when you're doing this process and you identify any other areas in the code that it would effectively negate and eliminate, when do we find out about that?
Well, if I was drafting this, so John drafted it, if I was drafting it, I would come back and say, hey, we've got a problem with this, because we've got a couple of other things, and my understanding is the intention is to do X, Y, and Z, and then that's ultimately, you decide whether or not we eliminate those other sections and do it.
Is that on here? So you're saying is we really don't know what it's eliminating? So, I guess
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable.
All right.
I don't feel
That's
comfortable, and I
why
don't
it's on
also
table,
feel
yeah.
comfortable because it doesn't, we haven't put in there what section it's gonna go in, so we don't know what it's gonna be indexed under, and,
yeah, because I'd want to know what it's eliminating.
right.
And my apologies, because I have said this, like, when it was brought up.
So eliminating anything that's in conflict with this, I mean, it's not really hard.
Well, yeah, but I want to know what that is. I mean, I don't know it may not be eliminating
It
anything.
would be using a house as a boarding house, pretty much, that's it.
Well, I don't want to make any
Yeah,
assumptions
it
on
may
what
not
it's
conflict with
doing.
anything, but what happens is when you introduce an ordinance, if there's any substantive change, and any substantive changes other than changing like a the to an and or something like that,
Yeah.
then it's gotta be reintroduced. So I'm not trying to delay anything, it's just, I didn't draft it, so
Yeah, and my question's not just on this one. This is really on all the ordinances.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, I remember this coming up in previous ones that we.
If-
Well, because I'll tell you, John's a good lawyer, he knows what he's talking about and everything else. When I do one, you guys get them, the section numbers are in there, so we know exactly where it's gonna go in the code, and I've looked at the code section around there, and whatever. He was asked to draft the short-term rental ordinance, he did that, but then he sent it to Lisa and said, could you format it? And so I'm looking at it going, wait a minute, you gotta figure out where it's gonna go, what the section numbers are gonna be, and it's not quite, and again, he may have already done all this, because John's good at what he does, but I don't know that. So all I know is we have an ordinance that doesn't have a section, like, where's it gonna go in the code book, where,
I think he was assuming we had nothing, and that's not the case. So it needs to be.
And I
But-
guess a good example would be, we were doing something with the, remember the hotels had a definition where you
Yeah.
could stay there forever. There was
Yeah, we
something
changed
like
that,
permanent
right?
residence.
Right.
So we had to delete that, and then I remember there was a reference somewhere else that we had to change too, that, again, we brought it back to the committee's attention. Now, there may be nothing, it's just, since you asked me, I gotta tell you that, well, I would feel more comfortable putting the section numbers in first and figuring out where it's gonna go, and then making sure that there's no conflict, and that may be as simple as me calling John tomorrow, finding out, but, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I'm just, honestly, I'm not confused, but I guess I don't know any other way to say it. Because every other time we've done an ordinance, if there's ever been an instance where it's pulling something out or negating something, has that ever been
supersedes
part of
it,
it?
right?
Has it ever
Wouldn't
been
this-
presented before, like where that?
The only time I've ever seen that happen, to be honest, was when we did the thing with taking the permanent resident in the hotel. Otherwise, changing the rec commission to a committee,
Yeah,
that's
that-
easy. We have a rec commission ordinance, that's the only place it's referenced, so
Right.
you're just taking that out. And I would say 9 times out of 10, when you do that, it's just taking one section out and putting it, or creating a new one.
Right.
In this instance, because I didn't draft that, and it's not in form, John could have done all of this, I don't know, and it may be that it doesn't
Doesn't
conflict with
conflict
anything
with
else. I just
anything.
don't know that, so I don't wanna tell you, yeah, go ahead and introduce it, and then find out that, oh geez, well, we wasted time, and,
Well, let me ask you a question. If it did conflict, it would conflict only with something that is pretty much not what we want. Because it would only conflict with what's in this new ordinance. So wouldn't this supersede anything?
Well, it might, but the problem I have is, we're gonna introduce something that we don't even know where it's gonna go in the code book yet, but here's, I guess, the practical matter for your purposes. If you introduce it tonight, you can adopt it in December. If nothing changes between now and December, then you can adopt it. If you don't, then, the general rule is you shouldn't introduce it 1 year and adopt it in the next.
Yeah.
Your committee's not changing, so it doesn't matter, that's the exception to that rule, is you could introduce in December and adopt in January, because the committee's staying the same. But it's up to the committee. I'm just saying that if nothing changes and we find out there's no conflicts and everything, then December you can adopt it on second reading and it's good to
So
go.
can you introduce it without knowing the section of the code?
I would say you should go to section of the code, and I would say you should have a section.
So basically, your legal advice is we should table this.
Yes.
Brad, the
But
last
I'm
one
just
that we
aware.
did one that we incorporated was when we did the tow ordinance, and I went, the tow section is obvious, so I had done that.
Okay.
Is everybody aware with this, what we're talking about?
Just
Oh, you have it, okay. All right, so then can we expect then this will be done for the next meeting? We'll be able
Yeah,
to,
I would expect, I'll call John tomorrow and just say, John,
Alright.
this came up, I mean, have you checked this against the other, and I would assume his answer's gonna be yes, and then we can just figure out where in the code book it's gonna be. He did not? Okay, well, in any event, we'll put the section numbers in there and everything else,
Alright.
and just make sure that that's.
we're another,
All right, so.
What's the discussion we have to have on chickens, Paul?
Well, I don't know that,
Wait, so we're officially tabling this until December.
Yes.
I think we've already had the discussion in it was to add, you know, we have to go through the book to make sure that all the zone sections are online with that, you know, like I said, it seems to be missing in one area where it's in all the rest of them, and the book has to be gone through and just find that out. I'm gonna task Larry to that. It's when he's got time and nobody in here and stuff like that, that we'll look at each zone in the township to make sure that the language is right and only change it in the one language where it's wrong, which I think is the PDZ something or other.
The only thing on this one I just want to bring up is, so if we find out that keeping chickens isn't allowed in a certain zone, and we have someone who's keeping chickens in that zone, and they've made an investment of a coop and all this other stuff, are we going to grandfather them in because we didn't enforce it? Because I already know you're going to find people who have chickens that are probably in a zone that doesn't allow it. So if we find that, are we going to say, you're grandfathered, and this is just going to go forward?
chickens in a fight?
I'm chicken. Well, I'm avoiding the chickens.
My thought process on the subject matter is, we don't actively go out and look for problems. Larry doesn't have that time. If somebody comes in and complains, then you have to act on it. And no, I would not be grandfathering it, because for all you know, there's that rooster at 4 o'clock in the morning, or there's a dozen chickens running around in the neighbor's yard. You can't grandfather that problem. That's, you know,
This is an example of why I love where we live. Having discussions about chickens.
No, and
and you're absolutely, I know plenty of people that have chickens,
There's
but
a lot of people that have
nobody's
chickens.
complaining.
I get eggs from some people who have chickens.
No,
I'm
no.
conflicted on
You-
this.
Well, then you have to be quite honest, nobody had ever complained about the goats up here at the State Farm office. They were completely not allowed. But nobody ever complained. A
Right.
couple people moaned about it. I said, is that a formal complaint? They said, oh, absolutely not. So it went on there until they got moved out. So it's the same thing with the chickens. Until you have an actual complaint, nobody's looking. You know, so if nobody's looking, just continue on, you know, so long as there's no complaint. But, you know, I've been, you know, and I'm just going to take this and it just, what do you mean I can't grow that marijuana? I've been growing marijuana in my backyard for the last 10 years. Well, you can't, you got caught. So, you know, that's the way it is. You know, I see your point completely. I mean, you rule out roosters and they're contained and they're not running free, and your property's substantial enough. This is farmland as far as I'm concerned. I don't have a real issue.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's in the book. There's a formal complaint that's been made, and you either fix it or you don't. And I mean, at this stage of the game, there's one complaint. But but we have had other people come in to Larry and say, I want to raise chickens.
Right.
And Larry goes into the book and says,
Can't do
you can't do it.
You
They
can't
did
do
say-
it, in what zones can't you do it?
Almost all of them except agricultural, and where there's enough land and things of that nature. But these people ended up being fine because they said, well, what's your book say about rabbits? Not a darn thing. So they got a rabbit farm. You know,
Tastes
which,
like
to
chicken.
be quite honest, these people have something to do with Hackettstown where the same thing happened. And that was where they were using their expertise.
Well, you sound like you better do a whole inventory on what animals are allowed and which ones aren't.
Well, it does actually explain it. It is in the book.
Are alpacas allowed, or?
I have not seen alpacas there. But
There's no exclusion of alpacas?
no, but you're going to have an acre of land per alpaca, though, because it's going to be the same as a cow and a horse and all that kind of stuff, so.
All animals that are muted.
But anyway,
in a
again,
cage.
we have one situation here where we have to deal with it. It cropped up. There's one community that I'm just sure it got admitted. It was probably supposed to be there, but it's not, so you got to go through the process. And unless somebody complains, nobody's doing nothing about it. I don't know what else to say on that.
Okay, that's good. I don't know who put on the ordinance, the discussion that the ordinance require large hardened buildings to install radio boosters.
Actually, I brought that up
Yeah.
last meeting. It was something that the county had passed out.
And it's
yes.
probably a good idea. for
It's a
us to
good idea.
adopt that. I don't know if anybody understands what that's for. It's
Say
like,
again?
you get these large box stores, or like if you had a large warehouse or something there, the emergency responders radios don't work in a lot of those buildings. So when they get inside the police
Yeah.
or the ambulance, they're trying to call for more help or call for something, they can't transmit out. So what this ordinance would do, Mike, you're familiar with it, because you're gonna draft it, it would basically make it a requirement when they build, they have to put in these boosters, so that when the emergency responders, the firefighters are in there and stuff, they can talk to the outside the building, call communications for more help, whatever they need. Makes perfect sense to do.
Actually, and Lisa, I already gave you a copy of the one that the county adopted and gave to each neighborhood.
It's pretty common, it's pretty
So,
generic.
right, so
Mike-
it's
Mike
already
has
written.
a copy of it, so I guess, do we need to authorize you to draft, or you just can draft it?
No,
It's in your packet.
the only thing I will say is, the only knock I've heard about it is that there's a provision in there that's, it's just a good idea. You build a new building, put them in there, it's not that expensive. But it says in there that if you renovate, remodel, or whatever a building, you have to put it in there, but there's no definition of what renovation or remodel is. So, some towns have been eliminating that and just saying, hey, you build a new building, you gotta put them in there, and then and eliminate that provision, or put in there almost like a pre-existing non-conforming structure. You know, if you remodel more than 51%, or pick a percentage, then because it is a good idea, it is
Yeah.
good to do it. That was the only thing I just wanna point
Well,
out is,
Yeah, the only reason I would say that, I'd like to get a definition for that, because everybody was remiss in not doing it with the current buildings. And I do know some of our box stores are dense boxes, so are some in the neighboring municipalities. So it would be a time to correct that. I don't even mind picking a high number, like over 51% or something. But as these stores
you say
vacate,
10 or 15, like, 'cause ADA is 15%,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so.
Have we tested that? Has the county or anybody going to test these buildings to see which ones you
Oh,
can't
yeah,
put in?
yeah.
Yeah, the steel, a lot of those box, like steel, concrete, a lot of schools, it's bad too, there's a lot of things.
Yeah, we had,
It's,
So there's a whole list of buildings that are issues?
yeah, and my understanding is if you build them, at the time you build the building, it's like anything else. If you put it in while you're building the building, it's not that expensive. You got a retrofit, but
Yeah.
again, you've got some decent size, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to pick a number, I don't know what the number would be.
Or you could just leave it. I just wanted to point that out, because the only thing I've heard anybody say anything about, and it's not in the town, like, it's in towns that don't have any box stores. You know, they go,
Yeah.
wow, what's a renovation? So I'm like, well, you know,
Yeah.
that would be the zoning
What
officer
a-
call, I guess, at the end of the day, but.
How many issues do we have in the box stores in ours? All of them, or
Every time we're out there.
every one of them, pretty much?
You can't talk.
So I would say leave it the way it is.
It just
All right,
drops
I just wanted to
outside.
I mean, when they remodel it, I think it's a good time to correct it. It should have been done initially. I mean, talk about people, yeah, it's not even just for the first responders' lives, it could affect a customer's life, you
Oh, no,
know?
you're-
So, I mean, it's really a public safety issue.
So do we have a ordinance drafted for that already?
I've had the draft in front of me, so I can provide it. It's,
I know there was something that last
Yeah,
month.
the
No,
county
yeah,
gave-
we-
the county
I think-
gave a suggestion.
I think it was at least I don't see it here in this
Not on
package this
one,
year.
But there was one. I
One
think,
last,
month or-
There was one last month.
Last month.
That was one the county sent as a suggestion.
yeah, and a couple years ago, that same ordinance made the round, but it didn't come from the county, you know, 911 or
Yeah.
anybody else, it was just kind of.
Mike, while we're talking about possible ordinances, has any other town looked into 5G issues?
Not that I'm aware of.
Because I'm hearing some bad stuff about it. and-
My suspicion is when they came in for permission to put those notes on the telephone poles, that was the precursor to the 5, they needed that. My
Now-
understanding is, it's not, they don't have the.
Is that gonna be like a public benefit, where you have to let them in, do you know?
Well, so far, the smaller,
Huh?
these smaller antennas that they're putting on the telephone poles have not. They still need consent from the town in order to do that. So the question, and I think they actually came in here and we told them they had to go to the land use board.
Right, because we said, we didn't know the implications to grant it to one company, then you have to grant it to all. How do you select which ones you're gonna give access to?
Well, they were just asking us, do you have a problem if, I guess the easement holder would not allow them to put them on the telephone poles, whether it's JCP or whoever it was, without the township permission, and Greenwich was smart and said, you know, go to the land use board, because their boxes and everything else. Now, if they get the same protection, because now with cell towers, you know, you can't, the SEC's basically, you know, preempted the field, so you can't bring in health issues or stuff like that. If they show they meet the federal standards, there's nothing you can do. I'm not aware of whether 5G is the same thing, or they're getting the same protection as, say, another cell tower, you know? Because like I said, they come in, they gotta get land use approvals, but they're deemed to be, you know, inherently beneficial use, and you can't bring in health issues as long as they show, their RF engineer shows that they meet all the requirements, so.
I have a feeling that's the next battleground, we'll see.
Okay. Looking for adoption of resolution 86, 2019, resolution to cancel stale dated checks, this is regarding the developer's escrow accounts, right?
The one that we held from the last meeting?
Last
Yeah.
month. Yeah, so
We got
we,
clarification.
so we got clarification from John Newey, that was another, Mr. Lavery, so we should talk to him about it. So he looked into it, and these were items that were outstanding prior to 2015. So remember, the prior statement
Mhm.
came in 2015, along with the new auditor. So there's no details. Normally, when you're doing these, there's a check number,
Right.
and some identifications, but there is none. There's nothing in the system, and these have been carried for almost 5 years now. So he recommended it was okay because I asked him, like, should we do this or not? And he said, yes.
Okay.
So it's a recommendation of the auditor.
So, you making the motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Okay. Anybody want a second?
Second.
Any other questions, comments, discussion? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Bean?
Yes.
Mr. McCutcheon?
Yes.
Ms. Rowland?
Yes.
Yes.
Looking for motion to adopt resolution 88, 2019, resolution also authorizing a refund of special charges to lien holders. That's where there was duplicate charges for maintenance, right? That's what it,
So this is a duplicate one?
Yeah.
Okay.
so, anybody want to make the motion to adopt?
I'll make the motion.
Anybody second?
Second.
Any other questions, comments, discussion? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Bean?
Yes.
Mr. McCutcheon?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution 89, 2019, resolution authorizing refund of overpayment of taxes. Anybody want to make the motion to authorize that refund?
I'll make that motion.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
Anybody have any questions, comments, discussions on it? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Bean?
Yes.
McCutcheon?
Yes.
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 Resolution number 90, 2019, looking for a motion to adopt, authorizing refund of special charges. This is regarding property maintenance charges also that were paid through the land sale, so.
I'll make the motion.
Anybody want a second? You know, comment made that this is on a recommendation of council to do it, so, roll call, any other questions, comments, discussion? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Bean?
Yes.
Mr. McCutcheon?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, looking for a motion to adopt Resolution 91, 2019, resolution authorizing the redemption of illicit tax liens. I'll make the motion that we adopt the resolution. Anybody want a second?
Second.
Anybody have any questions, comments, or discussions on it? Roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Bean?
Yes.
Mr. McCutcheon?
Yes.
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 Looking for a motion to adopt Resolution 93, 2019, resolution authorizing the cancellation of taxes, and that's primarily on county property, so,
Wait, is this number 92?
yeah, I'm on 92, right?
Yeah.
92. So I'll make the motion we adopt. Anybody want a second?
A second?
What's the,
Yeah, I was gonna say, what
What is this?
property is that? It's county property. Is that out by, the Dow property or something, maybe?
Is it the library?
Is it the library?
That's what I was thinking.
Well, I thought that was
Lot
already,
25, lot 2?
yeah, is
Yeah.
that,
I think that's
that's
right.
library, okay. Why didn't we do this before then? Why is this?
And in case the tax duplicate was closed, trying to purchase the property, so.
Okay, well, if it's for county property, we couldn't charge them taxes anyway, so. Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Bean?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Mr. McDermott?
Yes.
yes.
Resolution, looking for a motion to adopt Resolution 93, 2019, resolution authorizing removal of special charges on 1824 Gary Road. Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it. Anybody want to give any questions or comments or anything on this, or?
Can somebody just explain that?
Mhm.
This one?
Mhm.
Basically, there was some, you want to explain it?
Sure. So we have an ordinance that says there's, if somebody's not maintaining their property, the township committee can direct or ask Joe to go out there and cut the grass, and then there's supposed to be a lien placed on the property. So on 2 of these properties, the process was done, but the lien wasn't placed on the property. The problem with that is if there's not a lien placed, when somebody goes to buy it, they do the title search, it doesn't show up. So they're disputing them, so the committee is waiving those, because even though those charges were incurred, the buyer wouldn't have been aware of them at the time. So there was a little glitch in the process, so, which we discussed in executive and going forward with a lot of the issue, but that's why. So we have, unfortunately, we have to forgive those charges.
We have to give, trying not to give the money back.
No, they owe
It's
us,
paid up.
they owe
Paid
the
up.
town money.
They owe the
Pay
town
us.
money, so we're not gonna give any money back, but, you know.
Just not gonna collect.
Basically, the DPW went out and cut the grass, and then we're basically eating the cost. Okay. But we're not refunding any money.
But we did,
Yes.
We did.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there was two resolutions for one property, I think,
but that problem won't happen.
correct.
Okay. Looking for a motion to adopt Resolution 94, 2019, which is authorizing the,
Wait, we have to vote.
I didn't do the vote on that?
We
Oh, I'm
do not
sorry.
vote on 93.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Bean?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Mr. McDermott?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
94, 2019 is the, authorizing the grant to the Municipal Alliance for the drug awareness issues in the county stuff. So I'll make the motion to adopt. Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Anybody have any questions or comments, discussion on it? Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Bean?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Mr. McDermott?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
And then, I'm not sure if you guys have the most recent agenda, but 8L is actually resolution 95, 2019.
Okay. So looking for a motion to adopt Resolution 95, 2019, rejecting the bids for the farming and township properties. Anybody want to make the motion?
Make a motion?
Anybody want a second?
A second?
Anybody have any questions, comments, discussion?
So the only question I have is, do we have a, re-bid date, or new auction date?
Well, let's reject this,
Reject
and then
it,
let's set it, yeah.
Okay.
So anybody have any questions, comments, discussion on the rejection? Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Bean?
Yes.
Mr. Marqueta?
Yes.
Mr. McDermott?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Take good time to discuss that either day.
What's the, Mike, what's the minimum number of days? Is it 10 days?
Yeah, yes.
Is that working days or calendar days?
Calendar days.
Not including holidays?
Yeah, and you can't have a bid opening
On a Monday or
Bid or-
Lisa Bill, right? After a Monday or day after a holiday, right?
Right.
So let's,
So-
so we definitely want to have it done by December meeting, so I guess we're.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I just want to, we need to get it in, and it's a 1/1 effective date. So
Yeah.
we don't
So
have
let's pick.
Don't
the
wanna
first-
make it long.
You want to pick the first legal day?
So if we authorize it, well, when would it do we have to re-advertise it?
Oh, that's.
And we have to, yeah.
So what's,
But we should be able to, if we proceed in December meeting.
Yeah. It'll just be, how soon can we get it in? Like, when do you think the notice will go in the paper, and then we can get it?
The soonest they can go to the paper is the 22nd.
Okay. We're looking at the beginning of December. and then the packages can go out.
So we should be able to.
So you're saying it would go in on the 22nd?
Friday the 13th. Okay.
So when we say 10 days, do holidays count?
Yeah, 10 calendar days, they
Regardless if it's a holiday in there or not?
You just can't open it, obviously, the day after a holiday or the Monday.
So we could effectively make it a bid opening on Tuesday the 10th. Are we doing something else on the 10th? Is the pavilion bid the 10th or the 11th? Why don't we just have a big old bid
I
opening?
thought you said the 5th, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't think it was that early. I thought it was the second
Okay.
week.
And then Lisa, when you do this now, we only have to send a package out to those that are currently leasing. Everybody else is,
And we only have to do that if we put it in the letter and say that we're doing it.
Yeah.
right. So this time it's not in the letter?
Well, I think
Well,
it'd
already
be
went.
fundamentally fair.
All right, okay. But only to the, but what about, because there's, in theory, the people who bid on Greenbrier wouldn't be eligible for that package because they did it by way of the website or whatever. They wouldn't have gotten one because they weren't a previous. So
Well,
how are we
never-
notifying these folks?
No, they were never awarded though, right?
Yeah, no, they were that
They gotta be
day.
notified of a bid rejection.
Yes, and then we should,
Oh, that's right, they were.
and we
Yeah.
should tell them that there's a new bid and that rejection letter.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
The new schedule.
All right.
the bid opening for the pavilion is December 11th, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay. So,
All right.
you're making a motion to do it on what day?
Well, is that gonna cause a problem? You
I
know,
would do
like-
the 13th, it's better to have more time than less time, so if for some reason there's a delay in the paper that's beyond the town's, Friday the 3rd, give them an extra
So the
day or
6th
so.
is that enough? If we did it on the 6th, that's on Friday.
It's too early, isn't it?
No, because if it goes on the 22nd, that would be 2 full weeks. That would be 14 days.
I would.
The 13th still before our meeting, though, we really have.
I'm just thinking, I just wanna make sure, because if we run into this issue again,
Well, here's the other
Well,
thing.
we're in this issue again, there's no way we could do it in time for the December meeting, even if it's the
The other thing
6th.
is, no one's planting in January, and Frank is currently trying to push the county to get the Lee property on as well. So if we're gonna do it, you might just wanna do it all at once, and Frank feels it's okay if it goes beyond January 1. It's still gonna be effective for, the growing season of 2020 is what he's thinking, so.
I represent the county, I don't wanna make any comment. But
alright, so then 13th,
I've seen the county expedite things, and it seems like it goes the other direction sometimes, so.
so we go from 10 days to a full month. Okay.
So,
Today's the 13th, let's say it's a whole month.
Yeah, it's probably the 13th. It's the week before, week before the regular meeting.
Okay, I just thought earlier the better, but
So, you gonna make a motion?
Frank, next time, talk about it.
alright, so make a motion to set the new auction date at the 13th of December.
I'll second. Anybody have any further questions, comments, discussion on it? Roll call.
You need a roll call?
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. McCutcheon?
Yes.
Ms. McDermott?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Okay. What's the property recently acquired by?
That was the conversation we had about the piece of property we own between, Greenwich Center and the
Okay.
Shanashine. There's nothing more to talk
Nothing
about
to
on there
talk
right now.
about. Best practice inventory. What do we need to discuss on that, Lisa? Other than,
The governing body just has to acknowledge
Acknowledge.
that it was completed, it has been submitted, and Brad and I have worked on it together. They have given us a few additional days to get it submitted. We
oh,
don't
this is
know-
the one I signed off on electronic signature, okay.
And essentially, we just, I sign it saying you guys are gonna review it tonight, and we've got plenty of things we're gonna put funding, so.
We don't need to do any motions or anything, everything's
I
done,
would
right?
do a motion
Yep.
to accept it.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion to accept the, best practices inventory for 2019. Anybody want a second?
I'll second it.
And, anybody have questions, comments, discussion on it? This was just some house cleaning we had to do and get done, and it's done. Thanks, Brad. Well, Lisa.
Be soon.
Okay.
Oh,
Pat,
roll-
I'm sorry. Oh, roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
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 Well, you know what? It's not on here. Did we have to do resolution 96? Okay.
Yeah.
Looking for a motion to approve resolution number 96, 2019. It's an addendum establishing 2019 salaries for Greenwich Township employees. It's an addendum to the earlier resolution we did. I'll make a motion we adopt it. Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Anybody have any questions or comments on it?
Just to explain it, so the earlier one we did was the ordinance, the second reading. This is the resolution. We did a resolution last month, and there were a couple positions that we couldn't approve because the ordinance had to be officially approved with second reading. So this has the change to the recycling coordinator stipend, and then the vacant property registration position. This is setting it for, we never paid the 18 one, and then the 19. That's it. I mean, all these are in the budget, so there's not an issue with that. That's just clarity for what this is.
8R for the FAST system. Who has that on? Anybody have anything to discuss on it?
Do we have to vote on this?
Wait till
96?
roll call.
Red Larson?
Yes.
Mr. Bean?
Yes.
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 FAST system. Who
So-
has it on? You?
Well, I think you added it, I guess I'll just comment on it. So, state of New Jersey has been trying to implement this new system for financial record keeping, basically. I forgot what it stands for. It's something submissions track. I forget what the FA is, but essentially it's, all the financial
Guess it
statements, the
pertains to
annual financial statement, the
part one.
annual debt statement, they're all compiled into paper form, into a format the state likes, and they usually sent out to the state. Now they're collecting this into this FAST system, which is all online. So, what I'm hearing anyway from the auditor is that they really haven't done adequate testing on this. They were supposed to be doing a lot of, testing and make sure it works right, but they're just moving ahead, charging ahead, testing or no testing. So they set the dates. The budget, the municipal budget has to be finalized and in the system February 10th. And that date, the February 10th date is typically the budget's due each year, but they always allow extensions, so they'll probably allow another extension on this. So that's the budget. There's also the financial statements that have to go in there and the debt statements. And then the other thing they're asking, and God only knows why the state is asking this, is in their infinite wisdom. They're asking for municipalities to put the 2019 budget, here it is in November, December, we're almost done with the year. They want the 19 budget input to the FAST system by January 15th. Now, so, especially in our position where we have the turnover with the CFO, which doesn't help in and of itself, but somebody new, this is going to create a problem. So John Mooney's already told us that he doesn't have the resources really to do this, but he can find a way to do it, but it's going to have to be an extra charge above and beyond what we pay the auditors presently, and it would have to be like an hourly rate, because he has no idea how long it's going to take to get this into the system.
Right.
Because everybody's unfamiliar with it. Very few people have used it, so it's all new learning. So it's new technology, new learning. There's going to be bugs, and so unfortunately, it's basically an unfunded mandate. The state's mandating it, but they don't give you funds to accomplish this. So that's what the FAST system is. I don't know what repercussions are for a municipality, and I guarantee you it will happen, that don't meet the deadline. What are they going to do? I don't know. I mean, we could always just roll the dice and see what happens, but, I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying, if for whatever reason we can't meet the deadline, I don't know what punitive measures they're considering, so.
Brad, wasn't this the same too when we were discussing budget early in the year? I mean, he had explained that people were trying to upload things and it wasn't working.
Yep.
And they were wasting resources and it wasn't.
Yeah.
'Cause they were supposed to be pulling some of the data they're asking for monthly, weren't they, or something with our filings?
I don't know, it's supposed to eliminate the need to send all the stuff down on paper.
It's financial automation submission tracking.
Yeah.
So, I don't know anything
It's
about
fast.
it. I don't know how it's certainly not fast, but, I don't know how it integrates with, Edmunds. It's supposed to all work. So that's what that is. So we're gonna have to make a decision. We're gonna hire the auditors to input it. I don't know what their rate is. I don't know if there's any other agency out there, like, a temp that's doing the work now. If Phoenix Group is sophisticated enough that they understand how the system works, that they could do it, and I don't know what rate they would charge, if it's any different. But it is something we do have to address.
I can email it to her, and I got it kind of
Good idea.
Yeah,
And in the meantime, we would ask Modi for an hourly rate, so we know. At least what it was.
Yeah.
I guarantee everyone says, no, are you doing it?
Yeah, that's what I think.
and
You
it,
guys trying it?
and the other thing is, like John was explaining, that there's some towns where, and I really don't know how this is even possible, but the responsibility of putting the budget and financial statements and the debt statement, it really sits with the CFO, and they have to put these together. They should be putting it into fast. And he's saying there's some towns where the CFOs are just saying they're not going to do it. They're pushing it up to the auditor. I don't really think that's appropriate. I mean, at all. I mean, the
Well,
CFO should be doing
Maybe
this.
if it's a CFO responsibility and it's Phoenix Group who we hired to do CFO, we should see if they know how to do it first before we
Right.
talk to Modi.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea. I agree.
We should find out. I'll
Right now, they're hourly, right?
Yeah, we do. So I'll reach out to John and Debbie and see if they're familiar with it. My guess is, they're going to be figuring it out along with everyone else. But I'll ask the question.
Oh, maybe they're the ones who sold them the system.
By the sounds of it, this had to be a state-grown system,
Oh,
because
It's somebody's grandson's college thesis.
filled with tons of issues, so it has to be state-developed.
Okay. The park forms. That's this. We just have to approve it, or?
So I added it because I think these were all adopted and approved by open space, but I really think we need to adopt for use township committee level and then have.
Just by motion, and we don't have to do a
Yeah.
resolution or anything, just a motion?
And then we can add like the adopted dates that they're officially in use.
So anybody want to make the motion to
I'll make the motion.
adopt the Parks and
Second.
Recreation? Any questions or comments, discussions on it?
The only discussion I have is, so, I know, I think all these, you've reviewed all these, right? I thought we had adopted them, but it's fine, we can do it again. The only question I have is, because we are getting requests, we have people coming, sending emails out, asking about reserving the use of the park for a function. So we've had two, like I had the Girl Scouts ask for something in December, and then,
Food truck.
the food truck thing, which I don't know what's going on with that. It's still out, and I haven't heard back. But what we do need to do is, we need to have somebody be the official record keeper. Is this something Tammy would
Yeah,
fall under
we
her?
have a calendar that we're already utilizing for this park, so we just get an extension of that.
What'd be nice is, if we can have that available for viewing
Yeah.
on the website, just so people can start looking at dates and stuff, and this way it'll eliminate phone calls.
Yeah, gosh, a year ago, I think I talked to John Paul about that and getting something set up, so just for the website.
And all these forms are out there now, or not. They should be out there downloadable, so.
Like a year and a half ago, and I asked them to be removed, but then they're still out there, so we'll get them.
Yeah, let's get them up so they're in downloadable fashion, so that people
Roll call.
don't have to ask you for it.
Yes.
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 Long contract discussion.
So the lawn contract is, do we owe any more money? I don't know if we owe any more money, but it's up, right? So the 1 year,
The contract was stated as I shared with you. It was for 1 year with the township given the option for 2020
Was the option, and I don't have the contract in front of me, and I don't remember, was the option the same rate, or was there an increase? Was the option for 2020 at the same rate or an increased rate?
No, there was no increased rate for what the contract stated. The previous contractor, we gave him the 1 year, and he voted for the same rate for the following 2 years.
Okay. My only ask of you was what you thought. I know.
The beginning of the year was rough because it seemed like he didn't have the employees. And the baseball season, I had some rec people jumping up and down on my shoulders there a little bit with baseball. And of course, grass grows double in spring after the cold winter and stuff. You almost have to mow it twice a week. Now, I don't know what the outcome of his employees are going to be next spring, but I would say from about late May, June on, he was pretty steady. And, you know, I did text messages when I had an issue with him, but the spring was kind of tough, and he was having issues with employees. Like I said, I don't know if he turns over employees season to season that much. I had trouble in the beginning, but that was pretty much it.
From June forward.
There's some weed whacking issues once I addressed them.
I can say from my perspective and being the liaison with the school, I didn't get a single call. I don't know if you got any.
No, the school didn't have any complaints. The biggest one was recs and coaches and stuff like that, and that was the baseball fields. And I know a couple times there that I, even myself personally, took our mower and mowed a couple baseball fields to get it done.
So I guess the question is, do we want to renew them at the same rate for 2020? Or if we don't, then we have to put it up a bid again.
Well, my thoughts were, and again, I know that there was some early season problems. I also know, and again, I'm in the industry, so it's not like it's a secret. But there was an incident over at this particular park that the lawn was being mowed while children were playing on it. You know, with the mower getting exceptionally close, and I was notified by parents. And it was addressed and all that good kind of stuff. The grass numbers went significantly up this year. I wouldn't mind throwing out the bid to see if we can bring it back down some. That's my opinion.
You think it would?
I don't know. I mean, he's up significantly over what the previous contractor was. So, you know, maybe there's a number in between that's a little lower. You know, maybe he found out that he did really well and can sharpen his pencil, I don't know.
If we go out to bid, we're risking though it can go higher, right?
Yep, sure,
We
absolutely.
have certainty with the renewal,
That is true.
right?
Well,
Can you go out to bid?
Depends on the contract. Yeah, if the
If
contract,
we don't like the bids, we just renew his contract.
depends, but I gotta check the contract to see when the renewal date is.
That's obviously the
At
best.
some point, we gotta
Yeah.
exercise the option.
Sounds too good to be true.
No, that's why I wasn't sure if it was legit, that's why I asked him, yeah.
Well,
I
we
guess
could do this in the December meeting
That's
then,
the
right?
best, that's the best answer, what Mike said.
which is what?
If you go out to bid, and if you don't like them, renew, that sounds like that would be,
Just renew the
All right, let's table
would
it
that
to
be
the,
okay?
can we get more information and we'll table it?
The only thing I just gotta check.
Well, wait a minute, though.
We have to notify him.
If he bids, and he bids higher, he has the right to say, I don't want to renew the old contract. So there's still a risk.
Right.
Well, there is a risk, because I would say, if I was his, I would say, well, wait a minute, as soon as you guys put it out to bid, you basically told me that you weren't gonna
Yeah.
exercise the option, so I wouldn't put the other shit down.
Yeah, so, I don't know, so it's basically, do you want to gamble, hoping you're going to get a lower one, possibly get a higher one, or you want to go with a certain deal? You know, you have certainty with what we got, you know exactly what it's going to be for you know.
Unless there's a performance issue, I'd rather have the certainty.
Joe, would you say there was like a little learning curve for Jake and company, and now we're obviously past that, and
It
it should
probably
be better.
was, because to be realistic about it, there was a learning curve for Leisure, the former. He was a little lax that first spring too, because I had the same thing, but once he knew what was expected, he was all right in the following 2 years. We did have that, but we did have the issue with the mowing, and I also, now that Paul said that, they were out in the middle of the night one night, mowing, trying to get caught up with stuff, because I think he was a little overwhelmed with what other jobs he had.
Literally the middle of the
Yeah,
night.
they were out here with lights fast to the mowers at like 9 o'clock at night.
They cut Phillipsburg High School at 5 in the morning with lights.
He does, I think that's right, he doesn't.
But again, that was my opinion, like, it's a gamble on all sides.
I briefly read through the page too, and I know I think there's a paragraph in there about cost changes and stuff, that if something don't happen there and be awarded, that he could possibly negotiate if he gave, example of, for instance, gasoline went up to $2 or something. I'm just using that example, but there's some verbiage in there about cost that the contractor could come to the township and negotiate, saying, hey, this cost, I can't do it this way, but I think it also might work the other way. I'm not the lawyer, I don't know that, but I've seen something about, and one of the paragraphs is I read through it. When Brad sent me an email, including my email, so I looked at that stuff there today, knowing the meeting was.
So as Frank asked, there's no performance issues.
No.
So I guess the question is, who wants to make the motion? Which way you want to go?
Do we need a motion if we're staying?
No.
Exercise the option for 2020,
Yeah. Or you want to table this next month and think about it?
Well, I'm just bringing it up because
Table it.
it's the end of the year,
Well,
and
mowing season.
and it's ended, and the
We
contract,
had mowing season in there, but I
I mean,
believe it's for the whole 2000.
because before you know it, it's gonna be April.
If you kind of know we're gonna stick with it, it's probably fair to him to give him a notice, but
Well, who wants to stick with it?
I think the certainty is worth it, you know.
I'm okay with it.
I have mixed, but I'm okay with it if that's what everybody's thinking.
So do we wanna then, make a motion to renew him, contingent on him wanting to renew?
Did anything come up in OS?
We have to ask him. He may not wanna do it.
I'm
He might
fine
have
with-
another job out there.
Was anything that came up in OS about performance? I didn't think so, right? All right, so I'm
Well,
okay with it.
can we just make a motion to authorize the offer of renewal to him pending his answer? I mean, if he says no, he says no, we can't.
I don't think he can say, I gotta go look at the contract, I don't think he can say no. It's like your option to
Yeah,
ask.
I don't think he's.
Well, either way, we're safe. If he can't say no, we renew.
He can say
And if he says no, and he can say no, our resolution means nothing.
Was the renewal though for 2 years or just one?
it was, you do it each year. So
Do it
you
each year,
option
okay.
2020 option for 2021.
All right.
Yep, so you do it the same, you know, you can even do it at the January, I just gotta take a look at the contract and see when you have to, you know, 'cause usually it's like 90 days before the thing expires, you gotta.
Whatever you want to do. If you want to table it, that's
Table next
fine.
month, and then
Well, we don't know what I would say let's authorize it, because if we're not in the time frame, we gotta get it out.
Yeah.
okay, so you want to make a motion?
Yeah, we'll make a motion to offer to, take the option of renewing for 2020.
Anybody want a
At the
second?
current- At the current
I will
rate.
second that.
Any other questions, comments, discussion? Roll call? Yes?
Yes.
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 All right, I just had two things if you're done, Bob.
Okay, no, go ahead.
Real quick, you heard Lisa mention about the Dropbox thing, so I asked Lisa and John Paul to look into, I think, people are actually asking for CDs and DVDs for copies. Is that happening? That kind of shocked me, because John Paul was saying he's looking for computers that have DVD drives in them. I'm like, they don't even make them anymore with DVD drives. I mean, nobody has that anymore. That's why I wanted you to look into, if it's an issue, I mean, maybe you don't even need to look into it if nobody's asking for it, but if people are asking for soft copies of documents, then just give it to them online, let them download
They
it.
really can't make you provide it in a way that you don't have it, but, you know, I mean,
Well, maybe we should pursue it just to have it available. I don't think it's a hard thing. I don't think it's hardly any cost to it either. So
Yeah.
if somebody asks for a soft copy of whatever documentation they're looking for, we put it out in the Dropbox area and they download it.
I
That's
agree
it.
with you. If the computers are cheaper without the DVD on it, definitely get it without it. Because you can always, if you find that you need one, you can always just get a USB external one.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, so they're looking into that. So they're looking into that. The other thing is, Mike, you knew I was gonna forget, didn't you? The registry, the online registry for the the fertilizers and stuff like that.
Well, I sent you the draft, right? I sent you the draft of
I didn't
that.
notice it. Did you send me a draft?
Yeah, like the day after the last meeting.
I must have missed that.
Yeah.
But I thought you were looking into something with the state too. Didn't you say have to get an okay from the state? We had to send them something, and
We
that's,
would have to send them, if you were inclined to adopt that ordinance, we would send that down to them because they got to approve it. But basically, what the ordinance I drafted did was mirror their requirements and just say, 30 days before they apply, or whatever the state numbers were, they'd have to supply it to us first. You know what I mean? So they.
all right, so the plan is we have to, I look at the ordinance, we have to then adopt the ordinance, and then you go out?
Right. And then
Alright.
what would happen is, anytime anybody was going to apply any pesticides or whatever, they would have to send the same information here in advance of that with the list of the chemicals and everything else.
And we could post it?
required.
Yeah, now would it also show the date they're gonna apply it and all that?
Yes, because they have to, that's all part of their.
All right, that's exactly what we're looking for then. All right, so I'll look for that ordinance, and then,
Yep.
and then
Like
we'll,
the day after the meeting.
we'll try to get it on next month's agenda. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I had two other quick things on the new business. One was, because, and I got an email from John Mooney who was asking about what we were intending to do for professionals, if we were going to change anything we're doing, if we're going out for RFPs, through the whole fair and open, or if we're going to do it like we normally do, which is the not fair and open, and we get the disclosures. So is there any interest at all going for RFPs on the professionals? Or just keep it the same way? Because you have to do it, if we're gonna do that, it's even kind of, yeah, we're a little late if we're gonna go out for RFPs, because you gotta get it out. That's fine though. I'm not suggesting it, I'm just mentioning it, that's all.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with the
I'm
way
okay
things
with
are
doing
now.
it, yeah.
Okay.
If everybody else, I mean, unless,
There's-
anybody
no,
have
I-
a real discussion, I mean, anybody, okay.
Good.
And were we going to use Mike's office as our labor attorney now also?
Oh,
Yeah.
do we have to do that, do we have to make a motion on that tonight?
I guess you could, because since you appointed Jim, and now Jim's gone, I guess you did.
Okay,
But you don't,
yeah.
yeah, you're not required to have a labor, like, we have a labor guy in my office that does it, but
Yeah, we'll do it, make it
Yeah.
official, so.
you're not required
You
to
have one
appoint
more thing
him.
you want to bring up, right?
Yeah, and one last thing, is just a discussion, we talked about this at the OS meeting. I've been in contact with this individual who, her name is Susan Tittle. She lives up on Lowe's Hollow, I think it's Lowe's Hollow. Anyway, she's an arborist, so she's very good, she does landscape design and very familiar with trees, etc. And she's helped with designing the old Greenwich Cemetery and all the way that's laid out and all the trees that are there. So I got in touch with her because the idea was to, and if you've ever been to that cemetery, they have a 100-year plan on their wall, because they own like another 35 acres that are undeveloped. So they have an endowment, and then they have a 100-year plan of how they're going to develop out that property, and then they have how they're going to design the layout with all the different landscaping and the trees and the selection of the trees. And they even have up there, what's interesting, again, just for knowledge's sake, but they actually have trees up there that are ancestors to historical trees. Like, there was an oak tree on one of Thomas Jefferson's property or Washington's properties, and they have trees that are descendants, lineage.
Great grandson?
Yeah. And I guess there was
Or
this
the daughter?
company that did this, that specialized in providing that kind of thing. They're out of business now. But the whole point of this, where I'm going here, is it's really nice if you ever go up there and walk around. So, I got the name because I was asking about, like, who did all your developing, and she mentioned this woman's name. And I thought that, you know, maybe if we could tap her knowledge and her expertise to develop a long-term plan for the new park, where it's really laid out, thought out, you know, it's with a vision of what it would look like 20, 30, 50 years from now. And it's a volunteer thing. There's no charge. It's just a matter of talking to her. The only thing she would need would be a layout, the plan. And she could design something. She could recommend things. Again, we don't have to, take it as it is. She can phase it, through the years, and she come up with.
And she's interested in doing it?
Yeah, I talked to her about it. I was like, would you be interested in doing that? She's an older woman. She's like in her mid-80s. She has trouble walking, so to show her the park, we'd probably have to ask the police to give her an escort or a gator or something. Somehow to get her around. So it was just something I brought it up to the OS committee. I said, what do you guys think it's a good idea? And they're like, sure. So now,
Like a great idea.
Yeah, I think to have, it takes X amount of number of species of trees, and then you can also call the area an arboretum also, and that would be pretty A-okay.
What cemetery was it you were talking to?
the old, the Greenwood Cemetery over the old church.
Oh, okay.
Church Road,
Yep.
Basin.
Yeah.
Isn't that where they say that the,
Last of the Mohicans.
yeah, right?
There's Revolutionary War figures there. Yeah,
The
it's a beautiful
chief
cemetery.
that was for the book, The Last Mohicans is buried there or something?
Yeah, that's.
Do you want to, you need a motion or something to authorize you to talk to her? Or just-
Well, that's why I just wanted to make sure.
I
you
think
guys
it's a
were
great
okay.
idea.
I like that
Everybody's
idea,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
So,
All right, so then because I told her, I said, I just want to go through the motions and make sure, and then I'll start working with her. And it'll be in coordination with the OS. So I'm going to ask her to join a couple of OS meetings, and we'll see where it goes.
I'm going to make a motion that we appoint Mike Lavery as a labor attorney, a tax appeal attorney, to replace Jim Piper, who was recently appointed to the Warren County Prosecutor's job. So I'll make that motion. Anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Any questions, comments, discussion?
Yeah.
Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
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 Correspondence. Oh,
I'm sorry, Jim's still with us in spirit tonight.
Correspondence.
correspondence. The only thing I want to mention is we did get a thank you from Gordon Kovler for his recognition on Community Day. It was a pretty heartfelt card, and I just want to make sure we mentioned that we got it from Gordon, and
Do you think maybe,
he appreciated it.
when is he going, does anybody know when he's going to France?
I don't think it's.
Do you know
in
when?
the article. I don't-
You know when Gordon's going over to France to get the medal? Oh, he already went.
No, New York. the
No, he's going
French
to, I heard he's going,
The French consulate in New York.
oh, I thought I heard he was going, I thought somebody told me he was going to France, that the president of France was gonna, well, was the president of France there?
No, it was the woman.
Okay.
Soil, it's the soil.
So I have to amend, you weren't here, I mentioned that he's going to France, that's what I heard.
But that's what I heard too.
All right, and then Bob, I
that
just
is
got one
great.
thing with the chief real quick.
Jim
Sure,
went
go
with
ahead.
him.
Because I'm sure it filtered down. Thanks to 3.5 months of pestering with Senator Dougherty's office and stuff, I was able to get signs up at exit 3. Three-quarters of the way up the ramp, it says, all trucks 10 ton and over must turn left. And then right at the top of the ramp, directly underneath of the sign, it says, all trucks 10 tons and over must make a left-hand turn. So the signage is back in place, so that should really help somewhat. I mean, with that being said, I saw a tractor trailer on babies today, so not everybody's catching on to that. But the signage is back up there. I did tell, I think it was Sean McLaughlin last week, that the senator told me that they were there, and so I went up and confirmed and did that. I don't know if that information's gotten back to you yet. All right. It was a project. with that being said, it took me 3 years to get a piece of guide rail replaced at the bottom of exit 4. And I still can't get the state to do anything to fix the fence, but I'm working on it.
You're doing better than I did with the county on the other stuff. Okay. I'll make a motion, we open public comment.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone wishing to come up and make any public comments?
Greg Glasgow, 1709 Washington Drive. Just coming to the call, I did officially, thank you for that donation.
The tree, no problem. Happy to do it.
I do appreciate that. I do need the township committee to, since we're, change the way that money flows to the commission, I need $614 cash. I need it before, December 6th, for Christmas.
Okay.
About the gifts, you gotta pay people, bring in Santa Claus, this is Santa.
Enough said.
Got the voucher here.
Okay.
Who gets that?
Yeah,
Look
and
at it.
Eddie, one of you.
Oh, okay, I'll do it, sure.
Okay.
Just to get the voucher.
I don't know who you're gonna give it to.
Yeah.
You gonna make it out to me, or?
The only thing I can say is I don't think we can give them cash, correct? I think we need to have names of people that you're paying and then we write checks to them, I think.
We're not gonna, then, we gotta end the commission. Because I'm not gonna go get a check and give it to a kid for $20. Well, let's be practical what we're gonna do.
I don't know. Well, that's Debbie, but.
Yeah. check with Eddie or yours.
Um,
I mean, we went from, for 20-some years, we worked in a certain way, now it's turning into, I've never seen anything, I'm not trying to be hard on anybody,
Mhm.
but how do we go for 20-some years doing it one way, and no problem, now all of a sudden, it now becomes so complicated?
Well, I would say this, it was done improperly for 20 years, not by you, but internally here, it was not, you can't have a private organization in the town, so we were collecting money for like, anyway, it was just, we're not looking to create problems, it's just we're looking to brought to our attention, and we got to straighten, that's what it's done lawfully, so,
Yeah.
and I understand, look, yeah.
No,
Well,
I have other business.
Right, you know, it's like the local public contracts law. Wouldn't it be easier to just go out and say, hey, Joe Smith, can you do this job? And maybe it's the cheapest thing. But unfortunately, there's a lot of bad things that happened in New Jersey over the past 100 years. You gotta get 3 quotes, if it's over there, you gotta get 3 bids. So it's the same thing with the, we're not trying to create problems, but the problem was it wasn't done correctly or properly before. So we were collecting money under the auspices of one organization and then handing the money over to another. Which was not
but the only, there's,
So much more important to say, you know, the collecting only happened in the last 2 years. As an organization, we were collecting.
Right.
There was no checks, it was just cash coming to our, to the historical.
No, and by the way, your organization did nothing wrong. The way it was handled here, that you can't do it. And look, there are a lot of times I'm asked questions I wish I wasn't asked, right? Because if I get asked a question, I gotta say, no, you're not supposed to do it that way. The statute says this, and really that's what we're talking about. So we're not trying to give you a
But the
hard
official
time.
bills, like, for the plaque, we'll sign the voucher, and you won't pay the, you know, whoever you gotta pay. You gotta go buy chalk. You know, for the hot chalk, you gotta buy the candy canes.
yeah, the problem is, and this is the same thing we have with recreation, the rules are the rules, the state rules, and like part of this, you can't even keep a cash box, petty cash above $100.
Right.
It's not
And then for the
allowed.
cash box, it's
You get-
outrageous,
it's a-
that regulation.
Yeah, you have to like bond everybody for like $1,000.
Very simple, why don't you just make the check out to the historical society, and we'll write out, we'll give the check.
You could, I mean, what Rec's done in the past is when they've done this, and they do candy give outs and all this stuff, is, it's not the way I know people want to do it, is the member puts the money out and gets reimbursed. So you could put the money out, you can have all your cash, you could buy the chocolate and all that stuff, and then we can write the check with the receipt to the person, and they would get reimbursed.
Okay, so I'm gonna put the money out, there's gonna be a check for $600.
14, you said.
You just
I just
gotta
put it,
provide-
The pennies.
I just put it, when I do the motion, I just want to make sure we give you the right amount, it was 614, I wrote it down.
Wait.
All I'm saying is that if
But
you're
they
having
need
an, this
receipts.
says essay contest, if we're giving awards to kids, then the proper way to do it is to have their names, cut checks, have the kids sign the voucher, even if they're 12 years old, and then you're paying that person, and they sign the voucher. We
That's-
just did it with our environmental commission, that's exactly.
You're gonna go by law. Should have a kid sign it anyway.
So the essay contest that they just did with the environmental thing was for, they
Let's
got
put
a
it this
check?
way. The way he said it's okay to do it. We're doing it that way.
You weren't- That's the only way that's the only other way around it, that recreation's done. I mean,
Thanks for all you do, and thank you for finding that money to the township.
It's quite generous.
Anyway, yeah, I know. Yeah. I do wanna thank you for that. And again, for boarding, just so you know, it was at the French consulate, and there was only 3 people. There was 2 other people, one from Connecticut, and received that award. Now, everybody knows that goes back to days of Napoleon.
Oh, wow.
All that goes back.
Yeah.
And it's given to the highest award that the French government can give to a non-French
French
person.
person.
Yeah.
So it was a great, I don't know if I sent it out to you.
Yep.
I don't know if you got it to everybody else. That,
No, I
the
didn't.
day there, the presentation, it was on several news stations.
That's where I saw
I
it
gotta
on
check my
TV.
emails. I didn't see it, but my wife told me about it,
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
It was, it's been getting around.
Really nice. All right,
Okay.
see if you can let me know, because I got Christmas coming along.
Thanks, Greg, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? I'll make a motion to close public comment.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We need to do a motion to authorize the $614?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we, got a check for $614 to Greg Glasgow to cover the expenses for the, December 6th tree lighting.
I'll second it.
Roll call?
Mayor Gillespie?
Yes.
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 Okay, we have to go back in executive session real quick, that's why I moved everything up. It's really only over a couple of personnel policies. We might take action when we come out, so, but it pertains to the personnel booklet and policy, so I don't know if you want to hang around or not, you're certainly welcome to, so. If not,
Good
night,
night.
Norm. Thanks for coming.
For coming.
yeah,
Good night.
have a nice Thanksgiving, yeah. Thanks for everything.
Should guys stay? I mean, I'm fine.
No, we don't, no, you're not even involved in it, so you can go. Oh, so I was gonna say you can go watch the football game, but it's a Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's Wednesday night, mess me all up. I'm thinking tomorrow's.
Lisa, you had more stuff on your report. Did you want to go through some of these other things you had on here? No. But we never,
I think there's anything you wanna discuss.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we go back in public session, anybody want a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mike?
All right, we emerged from the second executive session at 9:33 PM, where we discussed 2 personnel matters. No official action was taken. Council is minutes will be available as such time as committee determines there is no harm to the public.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the attorney to take action as discussed in executive session.
I'll
Second.
second.
Any other questions? Probably can't discuss it. Okay, roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
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 You got something else you want to bring up, or Toys for Tots? The police, fire, and the rescue is going to participate. Did the schools definitely get notified?
The school has agreed to help out as well, so they each have a collection bin now and a poster that they're gonna put up, and
You guys are all familiar with that? That train's going through, it's going to stop December 7th?
December 7th from
No.
2:10.
Did you ever send an email out on that?
They're gonna stop at the, yeah, I did.
Oh,
They're gonna
okay.
stop at the Lawrence Street crossing. The Marines it's like a Toys for Tots train,
Yeah.
and they'll be here for half an hour. and
Where?
The public can.
Right on Warren Street? in the Heights?
Prospect and Warren Street. yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the guy called who's running it. It's one of the railroads. I can't remember the name of it.
Delaware and Chesapeake.
Yeah, something like that. So anyway, they're gonna stop, there'll be Marines on board. I think
Santa's gonna be
might
on board.
there And stuff, but they invited that anybody in the community who wants to come, one, or accept toys from anybody, the boxes, we can just show up with toys or even a cash donation if you wanted to give them something. And they invited any of the service organizations, the school band, if they wanted to be there and play some Christmas songs. They said they're gonna be there for half an hour, you can do with it whatever you want. They have no limitations on it, they welcome whatever you do. So I just wanted to make sure every organization was notified, so, especially the school.
And I
'cause-
didn't hear back, the fire department, when they met, Joe was out of town, and the other gentleman was gonna let me know what they decided, but I haven't gotten a follow-up from
Okay.
them, but I'm sure.
It sounds like they're all gonna participate, like the fire companies, they wanted to hang a big American flag from the aerial ladder over, I mean, like that, they
Oh,
want
that's
to
a
do
good
what
idea.
they're good with, so.
Yeah, I think it's, I thought it when I first saw it, I think that's so great, because there used to be a train station there. And the fact that somebody's even willing to stop, you know, I'd really like to make this, you know, something big, so that they'll at least consider it
Yeah,
year after year
yeah, I
kind of
definitely
thing.
wanna make plan on going.
Yeah,
let me put on my calendar. When is it?
I've sent it out on social media that I've
December 7th?
attached to, but it still needs to go to a lot further.
2:40.
And then the other thing, December
Orange
6th is the
Street.
tree lighting, as we just heard from him, is that on our
Oh,
website?
so it's
Put
gonna
it
be
on
like
there.
right at that corner?
Yeah, right there,
They
yeah.
had sent something,
The
did
sixth
they
and
have a
something.
date picked when, did Greg give a date?
Yeah,
December
There
December
used to
6th.
be a train station
Alright.
right there, and most of our houses that are in that
I
neighborhood
didn't
right there
see it.
are Sears
Okay.
Skid homes,
I'll have to follow up.
and you can
He
only
was-
buy a
there was
Sears
a-
Skid
Okay,
home.
I just wanna make sure it's
By a
on
real
for the-
station.
I don't
Because that's how
remember
they used to
seeing it.
deliver it, right there in the car.
Anybody have anything else?
What time? At the same time?
From
There'd be a
2:10 to
motion
2:40.
to, notice a public hearing for the January meeting for the cable,
Okay.
get the time clock for, because it's gotta be 45 days.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we have a public hearing at the January meeting for the renewal of the service selected contract.
Yes.
Anybody want a second?
Second?
Any other comments, questions, discussion? Roll call.
Mayor Barsney?
Yes.
Mr. Dean?
Yes.
Mr. McKenna?
Yes,
Mr.
210 to 240.
Mr. Frank?
Yes.
What's up with this employee volunteer holiday celebration? Only 40 people are RSVP
So far.
so far?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, just to confirm.
Lisa, when did you send that to the squad and the fire department, or you
Yeah,
didn't?
I did not.
Okay, so-
My strategy was a November 15th deadline for our employees and
Mhm.
you guys and our appointed committees and such. And then I thought, well, if we had 150 people at that point, we know how many
Is-
in fire and rescue that we can invite. Because there was still some discussion as to whether we're going to just do the line officers or, you know, all of that, so,
Is the 40 with spouses?
yes.
Wow.
But people are terrible to
Mhm.
What's, tree lighting? There's one six.
December 6th.
Did everybody up here
I
respond?
think he said they say
Who
Saturday?
did, so who didn't respond
I'll
from
look
up
at
here?
my
Well,
email
I
at
kind of
home.
Oh, no, I responded verbally.
I know.
I'm pretty
And I
sure
keep
it's
telling
seven.
them,
I go to it every year, I think it's 7.
I didn't
think
hear
it's
from
6,
Frank.
right?
What's that?
Are you going to the
for the
Christmas
holiday
holiday
party?
party?
When is it? What's the
It's
date?
14th.
December 14th starts at 6 p.m.
6:30, right?
6:30.
Yeah. Mhm. Yes.
You and Marion?
Yes.
It's
Now we've got an
42.
official
42.
RSVP from.
Who, is everybody going?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm going.
I'm not going, no.
But I'm trying to hold up, but I'm gonna add it.
No, I'm not.
What time is it? What time is it?
6:30.
Okay, let's see, Christmas party, I gotta make sure it's on my calendar.
Okay, we done?
No, I'm just not a monster fan of
7:30?
large social
6:30.
gatherings.
Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to
Everybody want a
adjourn.
second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.